All right, hello everybody. Today I am going to make a simple but delicious dish that my son Jack and I both love. It's Spam Musubi. So this is about half a can of Spam. And basically what we do is we cut it into equal size pieces and then we fry them. And about halfway through the frying process, we're going to add what's basically the equivalent of Japanese teriyaki sauce. And let this get nice and glazed, and then we will add those pieces to the rice and some seaweed. I'm going to wash my hands real quick because I was just touching the Spam, and then we will get going on the cooking process. So Musubi is basically a big hunk of rice with some kind of topping or protein in it, wrapped in seaweed. Looks like a really, really big sushi roll. And the Spam Musubis I originally had them in Hawaii, and they were absolutely mind-blowing when I first had them because I had never had anything like it before. So you're gonna see, I'm gonna turn on the stove, and we're gonna just put all this Spam in to the frying pan with no fat, because the Spam has plenty of fat in it already. And we're just going to let this fry for a little bit. I'm going to turn down the temperature a little because it doesn't need to be too hot, because we want this to get crispy on the outside, but we also want it to cook all the way through and render out some of the fat as well. And then what I have here is the sauce. It is equal parts mirin, sake, sugar, and soy sauce. And I used a tablespoon of each of them, which usually ends up being pretty good for 4 pieces of Spam. We use gluten-free Kikkoman soy sauce, not the tamari. They actually make a gluten-free soy sauce that is just a regular soy sauce too, because my wife has celiac. And that gluten-free soy sauce is the best one that we found by quite a bit, and actually tastes very close to regular soy sauce. So much so that we haven't really noticed any fall off in the taste of any of the food we make. So you can hear the Spam sizzling. We're going to get it nice and golden brown on both sides, and then we'll pour the sauce in. And the sauce, because there's sugar in it, will reduce and get nice and thick. And then what we'll do is we'll put together the Spam Musubis themselves. I have a couple of things we're going to use. One is a regular Furikake, which is basically sesame and soy sauce. And then this one has tamago in it too, which you can see are the little yellow bits in there. And so we're going to use some of each of those. We're going to use up the rest of that tamago one, and then we'll use some of the nori one as well, which is just seaweed and sesame. So you can hear the Spam sizzling. I'll take a little look, just see how we're doing. Make sure we're not getting too dark too quickly. You'll also see I'm using 2 cutting boards here. This one is the one I had the Spam on to cut with, and I'm going to take this one and put it in the sink once we're done cooking the Spam. And then I'm going to use the one underneath it, and I'm going to take this seaweed here, put it down on there, and then I have underneath this seaweed a little press that I believe got on Amazon that you can use to press the rice so it gets nice, so a nice flat even surface, and then you can build your layers of your musubi with it. So just having this sizzle a little bit, seems to be doing pretty well. Get nice golden brown. That piece right there, the second to last one, so this one right here, is my son and my favorite. It's the end piece. It's got a little different sort of ridge on it from the shape of the Spam can, but we both love that piece. I don't know why, because it doesn't actually seem to taste different at all, but it's just a fun piece to get, and we both like it. I think it may also look thicker because of that little ridge, so if you feel like you got a bigger piece of Spam than you would have otherwise. So I'm just going to let this sizzle for a bit, and then I'll put the soy sauce, mirin, sake, and sugar mixture in it. You'll also see I have a full pot of cooked rice here, and that may seem like a lot, but I'm going to use almost all of that rice to make 6 of these, 2 apiece for each of my sons and for me. Jamie wasn't very interested, that's my wife, and so I just made enough rice for the 3 of us. It's 2 cups of rice, and that's 2 cups, like actual measuring cups, not 2 of the like rice scoopers that come with rice cookers. Those are usually about 3/4 of a cup. So it's 2 full cups of rice, 2 full cups of water. And I rinsed that rice well first until the water was basically clear. Okay, so I'm gonna pour the sauce in now. And you'll see I need to scrape some of the sugar out of here. Just a little warning, the steam that comes up off that pan is hot. And so you'll want to be very careful as you pour in. My hands, because I cook a lot, I can kind of take the heat, but it's always good to be careful anyways. So you'll see here we've got this sauce. It's reducing down nicely. Pretty soon it'll make a nice, beautiful glaze. I'm just turning these over and over so that the sides get coated. Both sides get coated on the flat surfaces. Dropping it into the sauce too, where it's thick in the pan. And then you'll see it reduce down very quickly. So it's nice and reduced. I'm going to just keep turning these over and over till they get a nice glaze on them, and then we'll be ready to go. So now the next trick, I'm going to keep these tongs. I'm going to start assembling the musubis. So, like I said, these are half sheets of nori. They come in a full sheet. I bend them and I fold them in half, crack them along the line, and then just pull them apart. This is the musubi press I was telling you about. This one, you put it here in the center of the rice. And then what you can do is you put a little bit of rice in it. And what we like to do is then you push it in with this press. And then sprinkle a little bit of the furikake in the middle, like this. You put in your piece of Spam, which has all that nice glaze on it. Put in a little more furikake. That one came out a little clumpy, so we will spread it a little. Put in a little more rice, the back end of it. And now you just press it all together, nice and tight. And then the beauty of this press, where it comes in, is now that you've squeezed it, you lift up with your fingers and it lifts right off. And now you have a nice square to fold around your rice. So you push one side, then you push the other side, and you have a nice Spam musubi. You can see it's got the furikake layers on either side of the Spam, a nice layer of rice on each side, and a seaweed roll all the way around it. So I'm gonna go make a bunch more for these and then we'll be ready for lunch. Thanks for joining me for another video.